The year is 2008, and you're just a scrappy Irish teenager juggling leaky taps, broken pipes, and welfare checks while dreaming of fighting your way out of the trenches. You pour your heart and soul into dominating the local leagues, knowing full well that the view from the top is the only place worth being. Fast forward 5 years, a big and bald dude spots you and takes you to dinner, and it's love at first sight as the UFC head honcho starts liking you more than his missus. The next thing you know, you're signed to the UFC and are cracking skulls left, right, and center, all while verbally roasting opponents like they're turkeys on Thanksgiving. You beat a number of tough guys, including a Chad, to win the interim featherweight title. You then face a scary Scarface final boss who's been torturing his opponents up until you humbled him in 13 seconds, knocking him into another dimension with the strike you manifested. You're now known as a mystic and a shining star, gripping the world of combat with your charisma. Your popularity shoots to new heights when you capture a second belt by producing your career best performance, and now you're the champ. You've now got a long line of contenders to defend against, but you flip them all a bird and switch gears to boxing. You and your big boss hype up the fight like there's no tomorrow, milking every ounce of drama for the payday. But when the bell rings, you get TKO'd so bad that even your boogers fly all the way from the US back to Ireland. The paycheck, however, is a good $100 million, and it's worth the CTE. So you spent the next couple of years investing in businesses and real estate. You don't want to fight for a couple $1 million anymore, and your boss feels cheated on. You don't give a fuck.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
However, as you're now buying mansions, luxury cars, yachts, and setting up businesses that'll make enough money for your next 7 generations to live comfortably. You even go ahead and launch your own whiskey brand, but you start drinking so many barrels of it yourself that you can't think straight anymore. That's when you start messing up, like deciding to challenge a scary Russian who wrestles bears and probably eats wolves for breakfast. You take more shots of your whiskey and verbally destroy your opponent with that liquid courage. Naturally, that ice-cold mauler beats the brakes off you, nearly sending you to the Stephen Hawking zone where your brain is still working, but your body just isn't. Luckily, the referee saves you before disaster strikes. The loss is devastating, and you try to deal with it by having a little fun and taking a complete stranger to a hotel room where you go bonkers and assault her physically, sexually, and of course, allegedly. You get taken to court, and the powers that be start investigating your notorious adventures, which continues unabated as you clock an old man in the pub because he wouldn't drink your whiskey, which you claim is the world's finest. The man doesn't even flinch after taking your left hand, which you claim strikes like a double-barreled shotgun, and that makes you even more agitated. But you're taken out before you can try and finish on a follow-up. Whispers claim you started partying with the white powder, and you leave no doubts in proving your critics right as you keep struggling between roid rage and libido as you allegedly sexually assault another woman in your luxury car. You think it's not your fault because your fiance is literally pregnant all the time, as every other year, a new McGregor joins the beautiful family. You feel it's natural for you to find a little side squeeze because your fiance needs rest. Deep inside, you're just a chill guy who cares enough for his partner to have a smooth pregnancy. But you're not everyone's cup of tea, so they don't understand the way your brain functions. Your adventures, however, make your reputation take a hit, and you try to fix it by returning with a win in the Octagon against a cowboy, and that too in less than 40 seconds. You're nice to your opponent pre and post-fight, as you desperately want to prove to everyone that you've changed. But your celebrations are still as rowdy as they usually are, as you allegedly force another woman to see them big Irish cojones in Corsica. Luckily, the French authorities let you off the hook because of a lack of evidence. Perhaps they too believe that the double champ does whatever the fuck he wants. Sad. I know. You then return to the cage to distract yourself from the outer world, but end up losing not once, but twice to a silly little hillbilly.
The P-head. I'm coming for you, P-head. Silly hillbilly.
And the sting is so real, it has you tearing through Dublin like a man auditioning for the next edition of Fast and Furious. That gets you slapped with a dangerous driving charge, but you dodge an arrest because you're rich and famous. With all this stuff going on in your life, you try to get your head off of it going to a baseball game in the US to promote your pain relief spray. There, you end up cracking a mascot with your double-barrel shotgun of a left hand to eventually heal him with your magic potion. The pain spray doesn't work, and your live demonstration of your beloved product fails miserably as the mascot ends up in the hospital. You now need a place to hide, and you choose the restroom, but you drag a woman along with you because you're too scared of a wild Khabib, the guy you call the quote-unquote rat, might pop out of the drain. Unfortunately, that puts you in more trouble because the woman isn't impressed with your pee-pee and sues you for it. You get dragged into a courtroom where your expensive lawyers prove that you were trapped. By now, you understand well that money talks, but as important as a nice inflow of cash is, it can't guarantee mental peace. So you decide to pick up the 4-ounce gloves again. The UFC gives you a dance partner who wants to see you at the top, but you've already fallen down the barrel to rise up again.
Conor McGregor! Surprise, surprise! There's a new king in the lightweight division! God bless! See you at the top!
You haven't fought in 2 years. You aren't on USADA's testing list, and you look way out of shape. But you still go for it. You first ask USADA for a testing exemption because you need more time to wash all that gym candy and coke out of your system. You make a dozen calls to Dana every day, who makes more to USADA, but those stubborn little leprechauns won't budge. So you get them kicked out of the testing scene and bring on a new testing agency that's nicer. You finally get the exemption, your name's on the marquee, and you're set to headline a card after nearly a year of fans playing detectives about your next move. But you end up suffering an injury that takes you out the fight. As if things couldn't get worse, your 2018 sexual assault case finally reaches a verdict, and it's a brutal one, as you're found liable and hit with $250,000 in damage. But the real knockout isn't the payout, but your reputation hitting the canvas with the judges delivering the final blow. You try to spin the assault as a consensual one-night stand, but the public by now has seen enough of your testosterone-fueled antics to buy that story. You're practically doomed, but luck's still on your side as your boss is a wife-slapping tough guy who understands shit happens. Your fiance stands by you with all her heart because love blinds even the sharpest minds. You promise loyalty with tears flowing and emotions running high, but deep down, you're just biding your time to the next red panty night on a yacht, in a restroom, or wherever fate leads because you believe in anytime, anywhere, with anyone, even women who could fit in your carry-on luggage. You're no longer the fighter who once lit up arenas. Your reputation as a decent human being is barely hanging by a thread. Still, you dream of redemption and of clawing your way back. But time is running out. It's now or never, and the world is watching. One more mistake, and that could be it. And that sucks.